You're listening to Rebel Spirituality with me, Sam Goldfinch. Here's the truth. Wisdom doesn't follow rules. So each week we're going to explore what it means to wake up your way so you can live a more peaceful, creative and inspired life no matter your circumstances. It's time to blaze your unique path to truth. Hey Rebels. Okay, today we're going to talk about fear of failure. And I think this is something that many of us can feel, or perhaps it's not exactly fear of failure. It could be fear of judgment. That's something that's quite common. It could even be fear of success. You know, that kind of like, well, what would that actually mean? Like, would that be overwhelming if I created something in the world or did that thing and it was successful? What would that actually mean for me? So this video is going to be helpful for anybody, whatever our fear is of. This is going to be helpful because the way that we orient towards our fears is hugely important. Fears used to be something that I would navigate away from. It was like a good reason not to go there. And now it's a very good reason to go there. Now, when it comes to things that are of threat in our environment, right? So if there's an actual tiger, if there's something there that can actually do us harm and our fear is signaling to us something very wise, that we need to get out of there, that we need to run, that we need to protect ourselves, whatever it might be, of course, that's worth listening to. But I think for many of us, when it comes particularly for things that are coming in the future, when we're talking about fear of failure or fear of judgment, we're not talking about real immediate threats to our life. You know, it isn't a life or death situation. It's actually something entirely different. And here's how I like to frame it. I found this very helpful in my life. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, any of these fears, they're actually fear of feelings, right? If there's no genuine threat to our actual physical health, you know, if our fear of failure is because we're planning to jump from one roof to another, and we're thinking, if I don't make it, then, you know, it could be the end of me, then it would make sense that we'd have some fear about that one way or another. And even that, though, if we are actually going to jump from one roof to another, not advisable, then yeah, you know, that fear is there to help us and guide us along the way. But for many of us, when we're thinking about creating that business or asking for that job promotion or even having that conversation or letting that person know that something's not okay by you, whatever it might be, it could be anything. That fear, if you think about it, it's fear of feelings. The feeling of thinking to ourselves that we didn't accomplish that thing that we wanted to accomplish, the feeling of having to cope with the fact that we have accomplished it, the feeling of potentially being judged by other people, right? Now, for me, I think it's very important to acknowledge that and walk towards it. Because the truth of the matter is, we're not always going to accomplish every single thing that we set out to accomplish, right? So many people that have been incredibly successful by their metric, because that is made up, right? It's what success means is different for all of us. They've had many failures in air quotes along the way. They've failed forwards or failed upwards, however you want to think about it. That definitely feels true for me. And when it comes to judgment, sure, we may very well get judged by people. I know that even for this project, even for Rebel Spirituality, there will be people that I know and love and trust, but because of how their story of the world is built and because of their conditioning, they'll be judging me one way or another. Now, it might be positive. It might be negative. They might think, what the hell is this crazy dude doing? You know, often when we go out on a limb and do something that's important to us, something that we've wanted to do for a very, very long time, we will potentially be judged. We will potentially make mistakes. We will potentially fail and we'll succeed and we'll get positive judgment. There'll be all of this mix of stuff. But if it's not of any real threat to us physically, we're not dealing with a real immediate danger. So it's fear of feelings. And the next question we need to ask ourselves is, are we going to let fear of feelings hold us back from doing the things that we most love? Now, if we honestly think those feelings can harm us, we may very well let them hold us back. And I'm willing to bet that a number of people listening to this, including myself, have fallen for this again and again and again. But as we all start to realize, as we become spiritual rebels, as we understand that our psychological experience is safe, that we can handle it, that we can feel our feelings, that we can breathe through challenges and difficult emotions, things start to look different. These things actually become a reason to walk in that direction. I let my fear of judgment and the stories I have stop me from creating this project for the longest time. Project isn't even the right word, like heart's desire. This is I've never felt more connected with anything in my life than I do to this. And the creation of the Mystery School and the release of these podcasts and the book that's on the way and all this stuff has come from me realizing, oh, that story and those feelings and that worry, that fear of that future is actually something to walk towards, right? So we're going to have to use our intuition to be able to tell when something is actually, when our fear is actually there as a survival mechanism to genuinely keep us alive, and when it's there as something that's just feeding from our conditioned mind that's trying to keep us small, innocently, right? Because the thing is, that part of the mind that's trying to do that, it's like, Sam, you've got a great track record of being the size that you are. Why would you want to grow? Why would you want to change things? Sure, it could be amazing in there. I know there's this large part of you that believes that it is, but what if it isn't, right? You have to befriend that part. Talk to that part of us. Tell it, come on, all right, buckle up. You're in the car. You're coming along for the ride. You're coming along for the ride. All right, team, I think that's it. Fear of feelings. How is that showing up in your life? Is there anything that you know you want to do in your heart where the fear of feelings has been stopping you from doing it? And what happens if you look in the direction of the inherent safety of your feelings, even if they're uncomfortable? Go forth. Have an amazing week. I'll see you soon.